ago. There's a good school down there. But they caught up with me.
The police did?
Yes. The waitress where I had that coffee, she remembered what I looked like.
And then what happened?
This time they sent me up to Folsom. 1 to 10 years.
I see.
Well, they helped me up there, too. Even more than at San Quentin. They let me work with the prison psychiatrists, marking tests and scoring IQ exams. That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot that way. And it helped when parole time came, too.
How was that?
Well, it helped me get a good job. This time it wasn't a janitor.
Oh, what did you do?
Well, I was a counselor for a church group. The lady in charge, she was pretty young. Maybe a couple of years older than I was. Her name was Miss Wesley.
The files are kept in that little room over there, Roger. Very convenient to your office.
My office?
Of course. Haven't you seen it yet?
No, I haven't.
Fine thing. Come on. I think you'll like it here, Roger. You won't get rich, but the work is very satisfying.
Well, I don't care about getting rich, Miss Wesley. I just want to do work that means something.
Here it is, panel door with your name on it and everything.
My office? Mine?
All yours. It could be larger, I suppose, but...
No, it's perfect. I'll like it here all right, Miss Wesley. I'll like it fine. It was fine. For the first time in my life, I was helping people. People who asked me for advice. Treated me with respect. They listened to me. They acted as if I was really somebody. I wanted to help them some more. I wanted to do more, to learn more.
And that's when you started school?
Yes, there's a good school of hypnotism in town. It's not a phony. Nothing like that. It's got a good reputation, and it teaches hypnoanalysis. The course was pretty expensive. It took most of my salary, but I learned a lot. Well, I learned enough to start a private practice.
Private practice?
Yes, as a hypnoanalyst.
Mm-hmm.
I did that while I kept my job as a church counselor. I didn't tell that to the parole officer. We talked on the phone every week or so, but I didn't tell him.
They're very pleased with your work at the church, Roger.
I'm sure glad, Mr. Swanson.
Are you still dreaming of going into business for yourself?
What?
You mentioned it a long time ago.
Oh, that. Well, if I could, I'd do it. But if I can't,
Well, as long as you're happy at the church, stay put for a while. The more you learn there, the more you can help yourself.
Okay, Mr. Swanson.
And, Roger,
Yes, sir?
things are going your way now, son. Don't take any chances.
I couldn't help feeling he knew something about my private practice. I felt as if he were trying to warn me.
Well, why didn't you just tell him about it?
I almost did. But I knew he'd tell me I couldn't practice without a license. I couldn't qualify for a license. I didn't want to lose all of this. Not now. Not the way things were going.
You say you didn't want to lose all this. Were things that good?
Oh, I wasn't making much money. Not much to speak of. The school took most of it. I needed special books and some equipment, too. But the church was still paying me, and I got along. Funny how you can get along when people want you around. I had 15 clients, patients. I did a good job treating them. Even Mr. Swanson admitted that.
Then Mr. Swanson knew.
Yeah, he dropped in on me at my office one day by surprise.
Sorry to interrupt your work like this, Roger, but I'm afraid it won't matter now.
Won't matter? What do you mean?
Roger, you know better. This hypnoanalyst business. You're practicing without a license.
Well, I don't qualify for one. I thought...
Exactly. You're operating outside the law. You can't afford to do that. You have too much to lose.
But I'm not doing anything that isn't legitimate. I'm doing a good job here. Look at these files. Here, these charts, case histories, These letters from patients. Look at these letters. Look, I've helped these people. I'm doing a good job, Mr. Swanson. Here, look. Please, please look, Mr. Swanson. Look at these.
I know, Roger. I know. The parole board checked into it. They know you're doing a good job, better than a lot of men in the field.
Then,
But you've been convicted of a felony. The law states that you've lost your civil rights. That includes the right to qualify for a license for...
is that what laws are for? To keep people from making a decent living? Is that what they're for?
Roger.
I do something worthwhile for once in my life. I help people. I do a good job, and I'm against the law.
Roger, listen to me. You help other people, but you aren't helping yourself. You've got to learn to help yourself.
What for? What's the use?
For your own sake, and the sake of those others. Now sit down and listen to me. Sit down. Your work in this field has been pretty exceptional. We might be able to work out a restoration of rights for you.
How?
Let the parole board worry about that. It will take some time, though.
How long?
I don't know. But it's worth the wait. You'll have to stop accepting fees. You'll have to discontinue this practice while your case is being checked.
For how long? How long?
I don't know, Roger. It may take a few weeks. Just try to be patient. Okay?
You followed instructions.
I waited. It was pretty tough, but I knew it was worth it. I didn't have any money, though. The money from the church work went to pay my debts, the office debts. I slept on the couch in the office to save room rent. Just barely got by. Then my father showed up.
Your father?
Yes. The first time in, almost 10 years. He was different from the way I remembered. He looked beaten. The proud look wasn't there anymore. At first, I thought he resented me for having a nice office with a name on the door and all. But I might have been wrong. I never could quite understand my father.
This is good, son. It's good. I'm proud to see you making a name for yourself.
Well, it took quite a while, Pa.
And worth every minute of it, too, eh, boy? I admit this surprised me, Roger, but you make me very happy, son.
You mean that?
A wise son maketh a glad father. The book says that, you know. And it takes wisdom to be somebody these days.
Thanks, Pa.
Yeah, I've heard all about it. You're making good. You're doing good work. Work that reaps rewards in heaven. Blessed is he that considereth the poor, as the scripture says. You think you could help your poor old father?
I sure can.
I need a little help, son.
Oh? Is something wrong?
Well, things haven't been so good, Roger. Since your first trouble, things have gone from bad to worse for me. Will you help me, boy?
Well, sure, if I can.
I could pay it back by Monday at the latest.
Oh. Well, I don't have much money.
$300?
I haven't got it. Not that much.
I'll get it back to you by Monday.
But, Pa, I haven't got it.
You can get it, can't you?
Well,
Wouldn't someone trust you for $300?
trust me? Well, sure, but,
Son, believe me, I'm desperate. Is it a sin for a son to help his own father?
No, Pa. But well, if I could be sure you'll have it back to me no later than Monday.
Are you doubting your own father, Roger? Well, are you?
I was crazy, maybe. But I felt big being able to help him. Bigger than I'd ever felt before in my whole life.
What did you do?
I wrote a check for $300 and signed my pastor's name to it. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't turn my father down. I went with him to cash the check, just to be sure he got the money. I just knew he'd have the money back on Monday because he said so. He promised me faithfully. I even expected him sooner. But Saturday and Sunday came, didn't show up. I waited all day Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday, Miss Wesley called me into her office.
Come in, Roger. Shut the door. Sit down.
Hello, Roger.
Oh, Mr. Swanson. Didn't see you.
Roger, we've done everything possible to help you. Everything.
I know.
Then why do you do a thing like this to us?
Like what?
Like this.
Oh. The check.
Yes, the check. Signing the pastor's name. An out-and-out forgery. Roger, I don't understand you.
I had to do it, Miss Wesley. My father needed money. He needed help.
You need help, too, Roger. You need it more than your father.
But he promised to have the money back on Monday. He promised.
That's not the point. You forged this check. Why?
I expected to have the money back on Monday. He promised. If you'll ask him, he'll explain. I know he'll explain.
Your father's gone, Roger.
Gone?
Gone. He skipped town.
Gone? Well, he could explain all about this. You sure he's gone?
Yes, Roger. Sure.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either, Roger. You did such good work. You were a wonderful counselor, and yet you... Why, Roger? Why?
My own father. I helped him. Why doesn't he help me?
You have just heard an actual confession. This case history of the subject referred to as Roger S. Chapman is a matter of documented record. To protect the legal rights of the subject, names and places were changed or deleted. Technical advice for confession comes from the Office of the Director of Corrections, Department of Corrections, State of California. In a moment, you will again hear Roger S. Chapman.
Subject, Roger S. Chapman, found guilty, forgery. Sentence, 1 to 14 years. Assigned California State Prison, San Quentin. Psychologist report, IQ test, 137, Wexler, Bellevue. Psychiatrist report, strong rejection complex. Dominant personality inhibited. Recommendation, extensive group therapy. Sociologist report, subject cooperative. Suggest transfer to minimum security institution. Work assigned, psychiatrist's assistant. Very satisfactory. Possibility for parole. Fair.
Well, that's my story. As much as I can tell you about it. The other day, one of the counselors up here reminded me of a line from the Bible. Physician, heal thyself. It fits my case pretty well. I can help others, but I'm too close to my own problems to see them clearly. But I understand them better now than I ever did before in my whole life. Much better. I'm up for parole again in about 8 months. That'll be my big test. I've got to pass the test this time. I've got to. I've got to.
This has been Confession, transcribed statements of actual crimes. These true tragedies are brought to you each week as an NBC Radio Network production in an effort to stem the nation's forward march of crime. Credit for this broadcast goes to our cast: Paul Frees, James Edwards, Jester Hairston, J. Loft Lynn, Jonathan Hole, Mady Norman. Script Don Brinkley. Music Michael Samogi. Script supervision Warren Lewis. Direction Homer Canfield. John Wall speaking. Confession, a Canfield Lewis creation, came to you from California.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.